Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
TFG Football is an IVM production, and you can also check out their other awesome shows like Simplified, a show that explains intense topic from around the world and simplifies it for you so that you can appear cooler in front of your friends.
You're listening to TFG Football.
Hey everyone, welcome to the TFG Indian Football Podcast. Today is just me in the studio. Siju could not make it. So Chiranjit is joining us via Skype. So the topics that we will be discussing today is the new stadiums that is possible for the Indian football team to play on. We've always seen just a handful of stadiums that the Indian team has played on. So it's opening up new avenues. So we'll be seeing the Indian football team playing on other stadiums, not just Bengaluru and the most likely candidates. So Gujarat is likely to be one of them, and even Chennai. So talking more about this, Chiranjit, what does this have in store for the Indian football team?
Well, India has been playing all over the country before. Like Delhi used to be a big thing. At the time of Bob Houghton, Ambedkar Stadium used to be the hub. And ever since the requirements from FIFA and AFC, they changed over what you can do with matches of international competitions. Like now you need a bucket seat stadium, seating only stadium. You need you cannot have terraces, which is why they don't use Ambedkar. And Ambedkar was sort of out of order for a while because some metro construction was going on nearby. So all those things, when that was happening, India was playing in Ambedkar, Guwahati to some extent. I remember a friendly last time that happened that was in Salt Lake Stadium. That I think was in 2015 or something like that. So yeah, India have had this habit of playing all over the place. But ever since Constantine came in, he had certain requirements, right? He wants the hotel to be near the stadium. He wants practice grounds and hospitals and other facilities to be around. So he chose Bengaluru FC. Bengaluru's Srikantirava Stadium as the stadium of choice for the Asian qualifiers and FIFA World Cup qualifiers. So that also was fueled by part of the reason why that was chosen was that ISL so far has never had an international break, right? And so 6 or 8 major stadiums in the country were taken by these ISL franchises, and they were sitting on it from October to December. So during that time, if India had a World Cup qualifier or Asian Cup qualifier, they could not play in those stadiums. So, this was the obvious choice, Srikantirava. And you always had good support from the West Block Blues and everybody else. But now, the ISL is getting international breaks. The FIFA Under-17 World Cup will see a lot of stadiums get renovated. They will be open again for use by the national team potentially. So, and also there's been a construction boom, infrastructure boom in football in this country. Now, Gujarat is an interesting situation. They have that Trans-Stadia football stadium near Ahmedabad. And
I think just only recently they hosted the Mission 11 Million event over there with some big celebrities being called.
But you don't really need a big stadium of that kind to hold a Mission 11 Million event. But that stadium looks gorgeous. Like all these problems we have with stadiums that are meant for athletics as well. The pitch has athletic tracks around it, which puts the audience at a distance. Nothing like that. The beautiful construction, it's fully featured, it's got floodlights, bucket seats, everything. It can hold a World Cup match if you assign to it. So it's this beautiful stadium. We're hearing there's maybe an ISL franchisee coming out of it by next season, 2018-19. And just to prime it up, they might use it to host an international friendly, like they did with Mumbai Football Arena. Before Mumbai City moved to Andheri, they held that India versus Puerto Rico game there. just to create the hype, just to get people in the mood of the idea of let's go to that stadium. We'll get to watch really high quality football. So same thing should happen with the Transtadia football arena over there. So I was told this information by an AIFF official during the India versus Kyrgyz Republic game that yes, they are looking into hosting a match there. It will probably be a friendly. And the new Nehru Cup successor that they're coming up with, Champions Cup, which is their way of getting the players out of their summer break ahead of the Asian Cup qualifier away from home against Macau. That will happen early September. So in August, they want to host a Champions Cup with 4 or 5 national teams coming from probably East Asia, Africa, as well as another South country. So all of that being scheduled, they don't really want to use the Srikanti Stadium for that. They want a new stadium to be exposed to that kind of competition. So they have chosen the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in Chennai. So that has not seen a big tournament for a very long time. And now that competition will be there, the people of Chennai will get to see the Indian team up close, live in action after a very long time.
So what does this mean is we will get to see a lot of matches, and even if you can't make it to the stadium, at least Star Sports should be there to telecast it live for us.
Actually, Star Sports has a big role here. They have just signed on a deal with the national team. Right? They are the official broadcast broadcast partners. So they are saying Indian team does not play enough matches. We need more and more matches to showcase them, right? They need to build the brand's popularity and have content on the network. So part of the efforts behind Champions Cup, and it's not easy because August most countries already have their domestic league up and running. They don't want to take 20 players out of clubs and send them away for 2-3 weeks to play a tournament somewhere for the national team. So it's tough to get good teams, but they're trying their hard and trying their best. And if it happens, you'll have Star Sports to thank for a large extent because their interest in having Indian football teams match on their network is what is pulling all of this.
I'm not sure. What we've been lacking is the awareness for the Indian football. And with Star Sports coming in, showing it on TV, there's a lot to gain for the Indian football fans at least. Because even if you're not aware of the situation right now, you watch matches on TV, you can support your team. If not, go to the stadium. This is a great boost for, I feel, just to get along mainstream of Indian football for those who are just joining in.
Yeah, definitely. This is a really good time to be an Indian football fan. As Siju always says, we're on an 8-match winning streak. I think this is the first time in our history we've done that. The ranking is looking good. We may get our all-time best ranking once a couple of months goes by and we win enough matches in Champions Cup and we beat Macau. I think we may even get in the upper 90s. So that will be another historical milestone. So all of that is happening. Things are falling into place. These are good things to look forward to.
Yeah, and so we will move forward from this topic over here, and we turn our attention to the very old, very famous Kolkata clubs, Mohun Bagan in East Bengal. It's been a while that we talked about them, and we're not sure what the situation is because the ISL has revealed their 2 teams, and there is no place or no mention for either Mohun Bagan or East Bengal. So, any updates on this situation, Chiranjit?
Yeah, we all know that Mohun Bagan President Tutu Bose, he just stepped down. He sent a resignation letter. We don't know if it will be accepted yet. But see, the thing is, what is causing all this is the issue of whether they should move over to ISL and whether they should pay franchisee fees to do that. There's a huge faction within the club officials who are in favor of going to ISL at any cost. Because they're like, Bengaluru FC just jumped over. So what's left in I-League? So if we go right now, maybe ISL becomes the top division and all that. The old merger path that we talked about, that may still come to happen. And there are indications from IMG Reliance that they still may consider taking East Bengal and Mohun Bagan on if these two clubs come around at this point. But there is another faction among East Bengal and Mohun Bagan officials who don't want to let go of their power within the club by handing over majority shares to a sponsor or a business partner who will provide them with the high budget and the money required. You need like a 30 crore annual budget to play in ISL at this point. So yeah, Anjan Mitra is one of the people who was leading the charge against this. He did not want to cough up a high franchise fee, but it really was about that. That's why they were pushing for a waiver of the franchise fee. Was that if the franchise fee was waived, then they could just run the club on a slightly higher budget than they have right now. So that way they would not have to get in a big sponsor who would demand majority shares in the private limited, that is the team. So that problem is still there. Tutu was in favor of playing in ISL from what we hear. Anjan Mitra was not. And to create pressure on Anjan Mitra, it seems he has submitted his resignation. Now, that does not mean he's gone. Resignation has not been accepted yet. This may be a tactic to create sympathy for his own faction before the September technical elections come in. And as you know, these clubs are registered civic bodies. So whoever runs the club is elected by a vote. A general election is held within the club where all the members come and vote. Thousands of members each club has. So Mohun Bagan have an election coming up in September. And whoever wins, usually it's Tutu Bosu and Anjan Mitra who are in the same team. We don't know how that will end up being this time. If Tutu Bosu and Anjan Mitra become, opponents over the ISL issue, then it can be a new dynamic in how the club is run and who is in power of what within the club. So it's like a state, there are politics within the club. There are different factions which have different ideas about how the club should be run. And East Bengal are in a somewhat similar situation, although nobody is giving up their seats yet. But let's come back to Mohun Bagan. Anjan Mitra was asked by reporters, how do you see Tutu Bosu's resignation? And he said, look, if he says he did it for health reasons. If my health deteriorates, I'll do that as well. So maybe it's working. Maybe Anjan Mitra is about to submit a resignation. The moment Anjan Mitra submits a resignation, the entire game may change. Suddenly you may see Mohun Bagan emerge as a party that is ready to pay franchise fees and play in ISL. Okay, and East Bengal, meanwhile, have their own set of troubles. They have a deal with Kingfisher. Kingfisher apparently told them, play in ISL no matter what. We will provide all the money. But now it seems like, they went with Mohun Bagan and the state government and IFA. This almost started an anti-ISL coalition, which is not doing much at the moment. All that sound and fury that came from them did not really result in anything practical. So, yeah, they failed to get any leverage from the IMG Reliance Group. IMG Reliance Group said, we're not going to waive off your franchisee fees. And now, apparently, Kingfisher are telling them that if you don't switch over to ISL, we will not continue your sponsorship. So East Bengal are apparently, now this is not confirmed, so take it with a pinch of salt. Apparently they are struggling to keep hold of their main sponsor. So if that is the case, then East Bengal might already be halfway there to switching their mind and deciding that they will play ISL. Franchise fee is not an issue. And if East Bengal decides to join ISL, Mohun Bagan will not have any option but to follow the same path. Because if Bengaluru and East Bengal are going away, then Mohun Bagan can't really do anything by themselves in I League. Actually, it's unthinkable for anybody to see East Bengal in one league and Mohun Bagan in another. So yeah, that's where it's going. Either East Bengal comes out and announces that they have taken a step. They want to play in ISL still. They want to pay franchise fee and everything. They accept defeat or something like that happens. Or Anjan Mitra steps down. We don't know whether that will happen. There's no indication he's willing to do it by today or tomorrow.
I was just wondering in between. So the transfer market is open right now. East Bengal is making.
East Bengal made those signings. I'm glad you brought those up. Most of those signings are just for CFL.
Yeah.
Okay, those are like short-term signings.
So for me, the major reason that so many clubs have been backing out, we're not talking about this season. We take it back when the Goan club started the protest. So their main concern was we do not see a roadmap for the Indian football. If we do not see something our club can progress to or reach, or there's an aim for the club to go to, we cannot, take that one step or, just start that journey to even compete at that level. So that was their concern, that we do not see any way forward. So there's no progress made. Even if you win something, even if you go ahead and say competed with your best team, with your best resources, it's like an investment that you do not see a result coming out of it. So DSK Shivaji also followed that part, and they said it's logistical issues, but we also know that they are a club that is coming up with the youth of the team, and for youth it's very important to have a long-term vision, and that vision I feel is not clear. That is one of the reasons that DSK Shivaji. Yeah. So
Same
now
thing is happening with the transfer market, right? Because the transfer market is the FPI still has not told players that it's okay to sign for franchisees.
So with all this going on, and I'm really surprised that East Bengal is making all the signings just for CFL. It might be like a short-term contract, and players again, they also will be fielding their younger side into the CFL. It's not like all money put in and just getting in the experience and playing the best, because there's a lot of CFL history at stake for East Bengal, because they can just
they're in the face of a record.
So all this while, it's not. See, East Bengal is not some club that has just come up for years back. They've been here for century. They know how things work. But what is bothering me is, why is East Bengal not putting that step forward to make sure the aim is there in place? The signings are there. You heard about rumors being Khalid Jamil being pulled in, Azor players being.
I get it, but see, the reason they don't want to make big time signings is that a lot of these players are new, and it's a tradition among Kolkata clubs to, if you're not sure about a player, bring him, make him play CFL, and if he plays well, then you give him a full year contract. It has started to happen ever since ISL caused the split season. So that is one of the things. The other thing is that the players also may not want to just commit to East Bengal full season. What if an ISL team wants them? What if some team in ISL offers them more money than East Bengal can offer? So that is also another thing. And CFL will probably become a stage for players who want to prove themselves. I'm not just talking about CFL, maybe Mizoram Premier League, maybe Goa Professional League. All of these local leagues will become platforms for players to really show themselves off and earn big contracts come October, November. So that is also part of the reason. And also you have the FPI telling players not to make those big commitments right now.
Yeah, I feel East Bengal might just causing a big trouble for themselves. We see what's happening with Bengaluru. They've got a side.
These clubs chose the path of trouble the moment they decided to form a coalition against ISL. Because you go against ISL, you go against AISL.
But I still feel both Mohun Bagan and East Bengal have still a small window that they can just go past and just take an entry late, even in the ISL. But what is going to happen about the squad that they're planning to make? Again, see, Bengaluru is facing that problem.
Then, Bengaluru is facing the same problem because
you start
because
off
of
the
draft.
entire
And
squad from scratch. You retain just two players that you want. What is the success
four players.
of remain?
Four players.
Yeah.
See, right now the draft rule is that you can keep retain two players and sign two players from the free market. Like it's a bullshit thing, right? Bengaluru FC have been told they can sign four players out of free market, and the rest they will have to take from the draft. Now we are hearing a rumor that ISL has said to Bengaluru FC that the multi-year contracts that you have, all the junior players who are just coming into the first team, those will be exempted. Like ISL will say, "Okay, you can keep these players." It's a ridiculous thing to even say, for a club to take permission from a league that, okay, can we keep our own players, please? We have spent years behind them and we want to develop them. Can we please develop our own players? The whole situation is ridiculous, but that's the reality we live in now. Bengaluru FC, it's not confirmed yet whether Bengaluru FC have been given that option to keep their multi-year contracted players. They may get it, they may not get it. East Bengal and Mohun Bagan don't really have too many multi-year contracted players. Mm-hmm. So that's another thing why they are not building for the entire season yet, is because what if they get into ISL? Then they will have to make the team out of the draft. So that is another thing. And then what if they sign 10 players now, and come November the situation arises they can only keep 4? So you understand the dilemma here.
Yeah.
As long as AIFF does not make the season structure official, like okay, ISL I-League is happening. We just heard that the top 4 or top 5 from each league will go on to play a Super Cup or Champions League or whatever it is. That idea was bullshit from the start. It has been struck down by IMG Reliance. They're saying we don't have time, and obviously we don't have time. We have a sub-championship happening in May. We have to finish the domestic season by mid-April. It's bullshit to think of something after ISL and I-League. So that is happening, and we have a situation where it's still not official which league will happen. It's still not official what kind of draft will take place, and exactly which teams will go into the draft. East Bengal and Mohun Bagan, that part is not sure as well. We don't know how many teams will be there in I-League.
We don't know. AIFF doesn't know. IMG Reliance doesn't know. Who knows?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. What DSK Shivajians, we know they want to pull out. What if more clubs want to pull out? And I-League has been ever since ISL has come around, I-League has been losing clubs like crazy. Every season they have had to have a ragtag league, just bringing new teams in or something like that to make up the numbers. What if 3-4 clubs follow DSK Shivajian's footsteps?
They wouldn't care. They'll just get done a few corporate entries, and that's how they always keep doing. Pull out any one card from the bag of.
Joke. The entire thing is a joke.
It is.
In ISL you can't keep your own players. That's a joke. In I-League you don't really have teams, so kal naya team khada ho jayega. That's also another joke. So
I think it's just futile to just talk about the plans of AIFF. We can just go on, but we can never reach a conclusion. So can they. So what does this lead to? What does Mohun Bagan and East Bengal? Is there something that they can do? They're just helpless at the moment.
I don't know. They're not completely helpless, but the officials should at this point make the compromise. Okay, play in ISL. That's it. Because see, we the moment ISL came in 2014, it became obvious that in the future ISL was going to become the top division league of the country. Okay, and IMG Reliance have taken a big step this season to make that happen by eliminating semi-finals and finals, and they're talking about enforcing club licensing within the ISL teams. They've got an AFC Cup spot, so they are there. 70% of the job is done. It was ready. ISL is ready to become the top division league of the country. Bengaluru FC have jumped ship. East Bengal and Mohun Bagan should also do that. because that's where you have to be if you want to stay at the top of your game. Players will go that way, money will go that way. East Bengal and Mohun Bagan will get good sponsorship in a second the moment they come on board with ISL. And I don't know, just I-League is still the top division league. Everything has been stripped away from it. Yeah, but at this point, the club officials, their first, it's no longer a question of what should happen. What is the best way to run the top division league? Should it have pro rel? Should it have open transfer system? All of that went out of the window with the money, because we can work towards bringing all that back later. That promotion relegation should be there a couple of years later, or however it is that IMG Reliance wishes. But right now, it's the current is toward ISL, and East Bengal and Mohun Bagan officials have proven in the last few months that they are unable to swim against the current. If they had a player producing system like Lajong or Aizawl FC, they could have survived in I-League. They could have done well. They could have thrived like Aizawl FC did. But they don't have it. So just swallow your pride and say we're going to pay the franchisee fee. If there was a revolution against the closed league system that was going to happen, it's not going to happen through East Bengal and Mohun Bagan, because they don't have competent people to lead it. Okay, so say it was a mistake. Say we have accepted defeat and play in ISL. That's it.
Yeah, so great points there. I hope that there's somebody paying attention in the back office of these age-old clubs, and we hope to see some good football at the end of all this chaos that has been created. So another bit of news that comes in is from Aizawl. Jayesh Rane and Ashutosh Mehta, the friends, the pair that they've been always, been together. So they've just, you must be aware of all the floods that is going around in Mizoram. So there's a lot of devastation that's happened, and there's a lot of effort being taken to, bring things to normalcy. And Jayesh Rane and Ashutosh Mehta are playing a part in that. So they've just shared a link where you can donate any amount of money towards the relief of this natural calamity that has hit Mizoram. So a great gesture from the both Mumbai guys, and we hope that things come back to normal in Mizoram. So that's it for today's show. Lot of things to talk about, a lot of things up in the air. We try to create a picture that is much more clearer than we all can try to understand. So follow the TFG Football handle for more such Indian football related stories. Like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and do let the comments come in. Let we all keep pondering on how the fans keep understanding, and what are your fan reaction. So do let us know via the comment section what you feel about the Indian football scenario right now. Also download the IVM podcast app on Android and iOS. You can also listen to this podcast on various other podcasting apps like SoundCloud, iTunes, etc. So that's it from us, and we'll catch you in next week.
That was Tantrik Steve from Hansraj College, Delhi, performing at IIT Bombay's Mood Indigo. Just like them, there's a lot of new talent and art coming out of colleges all across India, but unfortunately most of this goes completely unnoticed or ignored. To fix this, we started atkt.in. Hi, I'm Ankur, I'm a musician and a rapper, and I found that one of the best things about being an artist myself is finding new talent. Through atkt.in, Tanya, my colleague who's a dancer, and our whole team really is putting all of our efforts into discovering and promoting all the coolest talent that's coming out of colleges all across India. And this goes up on our website, our social media, TV, radio, and now of course, this podcast with IVM. Make sure you go to our website, support the talent with your likes, your shares, your comments. All of that really matters. Go ahead, check it out. atkt.in.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. Sorry to say, but there's been a slight delay due to the apocalypse having suddenly begun. As you can see, there's death, destruction, and chaos taking place all around us. But don't you worry, food and drinks will be served shortly, and I would recommend checking out
IVM Podcasts
to get some of your favorite Indian podcasts. We'll keep you going till this whole thing blows over. Thank you.